Hey friends, it's Dwight. Welcome back to my studio and welcome back to my channel. It's been a while. And so today what I'm going to do is going to work on this large canvas. It's a 30 by 40 canvas. And these are the cups I'm going to be using today. Now I have 5 8-ounce cups and then one 4-ounce cup. It's going to give me about 44 ounces. I do need 42 to completely cover. But I'm also going to be mixing around 24 ounces of black paint, which is the Artist Loft Soft Body Black. That seems like it's an awful lot amount of paint, but you have to realize you've got a lot of edges and corners to tilt off of. So I want to make sure I have plenty of paint. And I think this will work out just fine. So I'm going to mix my paints in a minute and show you. It can be blues and greens and some gold today. And we'll get started here in just a second. And I'll also show you the consistency. People always ask me about how thick or how thin I make my paints, and I will show you that in the next segment. Hey guys, here I am. The paints are all mixed up. We're about ready to get started here. As I said before, I'm going to be using sort of a green palette today with some blue, and I have some gold over here. So this color right here, this green, is actually Artist Loft Metallic Green. But what I did, I added a little bit of metallic white to it to lighten it up a little bit. And the color next to that is Aquamarine, and that is Extreme Sheen. And of course, one of my other favorite colors is Citron Green, this sort of yellowy green. And then I have this blue, and this is metallic blue, and again, it is by Artist Loft. And gold. This is DecoArt's Dazzling Metallics Glorious Gold. And then the white over here is a mixture of Artist Loft Soft Body White and Dazzling Metallics White Pearl. Of course, my black dump paint, and we'll get started here in just a second. So let me see if I can show you the consistency of my paints. So it looks like it just goes in. It doesn't really sink and it doesn't mound. So that's what I want with these paints. I want them to be all the same consistency all the way across. And my dump paint, now a dump paint is slightly thicker, just a little bit thicker. And that's, it's hard to tell sometimes. But I just go by dripping and drizzling off the stir stick back into the cup. Now, as a reminder, all my paints are mixed the same. All these are mixed the same down here. 1 part paint, 2 to 3 parts floetrol, a drizzle of liquitex pouring medium, and water to thin it down. But my black paint here, I'm using Artist Loft Soft Body Black, and it's 1 part paint, 3 to 4 parts floetrol, drizzle of liquitex pouring medium, and water to thin. So what I'm going to do is going to paint my corners and edges, get them prepped, and do a final mixture of my paints, and we'll get started. Hey friends, I'm back. Here I am with the initial walkthrough, the wet walkthrough. I'm gonna wait and see how it dries, but it's looking pretty good. I'm pretty happy. Got some really cool pearls, cells, whatever you'd like to call them, all throughout. And I love the white. And with that, you can see some of the gold. There we go. So yeah, it turned out pretty good. So I'm gonna let this dry overnight and we'll take another look tomorrow and we'll see how well it does. So hold on guys, in the next segment, I'll show you the dried results. And I don't know, I may have to go and do some touch-ups. I'm not planning to at the moment because it's looking pretty good down there, but we'll see. Okay, take care. Hey friends, it's Dwight. Here I am back in the studio. I let this dry. Actually, it's been drying for 2 days and it looks pretty much as it did when it was wet. I know the color looks kind of flat right now. That's literally because the painting's lying flat on the floor and there's just some strange light in my studio here. So I want to say a couple things about these dump and swirl pours. They are quite interesting and quite abstract. But what's interesting about them is that you need a place for your eyes to rest. Hence we have the negative space there and pulls you to a point of interest. And I think that's something really important to think about in any of your fluid art paintings. It's like, where is the interest? Where do my eyes land? Where should they focus? I like what a lot of you do when you embellish and you paint things over your, over your painting, your pour, because it brings your eye right to it, whether it's trees, fish, sea turtles. I've seen all kinds of things, and it really makes the painting pop more. Now I know this is a lot of green and a lot of blue. It does have some interest with the white and that glorious gold. And what I'm going to do around here, which you'll see in a few moments here, is I'm going to go in and I'm going to highlight the cells that circle around the negative space. The purpose for that is to sharpen that center up. While your eyes might be drawn to it right now, if I go in the first few rows of cells and just brighten them with the same color that I've used, but just to highlight them a little bit more, like I'll show you. So you can see they look kind of washed out right through there. I may go in and trim them back a little bit with black, but once I add some dots, you'll see how much better it looks. And it won't detract from the overall composition. Okay, that's a lot of talking. I'm gonna put my camera down here. I'm gonna do it on time lapse and just do a quick time lapse, and then I'll show you the dried final results. Hey guys, here I am back with the dried results. I'm sorry about the lighting in here in my studio. I only have one light on because if I put more lights on, it'll glare so much off of the painting. Part of that, I think, is also because it is metallic in the paints, so it is kind of reflective at the moment. So I wanted to just kind of show you in a second here up close the negative space. And what you can see is that I sort of framed it out by dotting some of the cells that started to form in the negative space there. And the reason I do that is just to make it pop. And again, like I mentioned earlier, it allows your eye to rest on a spot on the canvas. And also I went in around some of those cells that were up against the black and I trimmed them with some black paint to clean them up so they weren't so jaggedy, if that makes sense. And the last thing I'm going to say is when I move in, you might see some blotchiness in the paint, on the black paint. That is because I'm using a different paint that's not mixed with floetrol. And sometimes floetrol dulls the paints just slightly. But when I varnish it, that black will even out and you won't even notice it. So let me move in and show you what I did. There you go. As you can see around the negative space, you can see those cells have been trimmed and they're nice and round, or at least more smooth. And then you just pull back, and again, it just gives you a nice place for the eye to rest. I like this painting with the white and the white around here and the gold, and you can see the blue. That's actually a nice blue streak as well. Okay, friends, that's it for this painting. I'm again doing another one this weekend, and I'll show you that pretty soon. Okay, take care. Thanks for watching.